Hello, and welcome to Future Leaders in Philadelphia. I'm your host, Derrick Sawyer. We bring you this show in order to highlight young people in our community, along with local organizations who are striving to make Philadelphia a better place. We want to focus on our next generation of leaders. On today's episode, we're talking with members of Mighty Writers. Since 2009, Mighty Writers has worked with children ages 7 to 17 in order to help them write with clarity. The programs at the 4 Mighty Writers locations around the city are free to all students. These programs include daily after-school academies, writing classes on nights and weekends, and college prep courses. Today, we'll talk with some of our adult leaders from 2 of the Mighty Writers locations, as well as some students who participate in these programs. To begin our show, I have 2 people with me from Mighty Writers South Philadelphia location. One helps run operations, and the other is an active student at the center. With me are Program Director James Ock and Mighty Writer member Ani Rowland. Welcome to the show.
How you doing?
Great. How you making out?
I'm good.
Good. You excited to be here?
Yep.
Great. So tell me, James, what are the activities, what are the objectives of the Mighty Writers program?
The Mighty Writers brand is about creating platforms for young people to achieve academic excellence through the vehicle of writing.
Great.
Now, this writing entails programs designed to harness skills around narrative, persuasive, creative, and informative writing.
Right.
If you think about Mighty Writers, like, let's compare it to like a basketball program,
Right.
or another after-school program that has to do with sports. It's essentially the same thing. It's just what we do is we're working the pen or the pencil instead of the basketball, so to speak. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And the outcomes have been incredibly powerful. Young people that come through our doors stay. It's not just a one and done type of thing. And you know, I've been with the brand for over 5 years, and I've had the privilege of being around students like Ani, who have grown in the culture that I think is relatively new to Philadelphia.
Right.
But it's not, because out of school time programs have been here for decades, and you know, we just do things a bit differently.
So how did the program start?
Started through our executive director, Tim Whitaker, and our educational director, Rachel Loper, who wanted to come together and do something for initially South Philadelphia. It was his dream that I'm sure Mr. Tim had. That's what I call him.
Yeah.
He's like the OG to me. And he wanted to create something for young people to buy into, because he loves writing.
Right.
And you know, before I came to Mighty Writers, I was a fan of writing, but I wouldn't tell people.
Wow.
You know, because I thought it was for like geeks and nerds.
Right.
And I loved writing, I just didn't talk about it. When I came through the doors, it was like, this is kind of cool, this is okay. Because you meet people from all different walks of life. But the focus is young people, you know, and for ages 7 to 17, and what they can offer the next generation, because like you said earlier, it's about leadership.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
So the main objectives, or one of the main objectives, is writing with clarity.
Absolutely.
How does writing with clarity help students in their everyday life?
Well, I mean, there's this old saying, you know, if you have an idea, write it down.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that rings a whole lot of truth to this day for whatever generation you represent. And I think that because sometimes when we react to situations, we don't allow ourselves to really sit and process. And you know, the writing process is really about processing our emotions and our ideas,
Right.
so that you know, we can move through the world with some type of clear understanding of what we want to do in the long run.
Right.
Because you know, it doesn't matter if you're young or old. I mean, we all still have visions and dreams, right?
Right.
We all still want to do things in life. It's just, how do we get there? It's much more about the process at Mighty Writers than it is about the product.
Right. So Ani, writing with clarity, how has that helped you?
I mean, it's helped me because coming in this program when I was 12 in 7th grade and now as a junior, I've seen so much improvement in my writing because I used to not really care for writing. I didn't like writing at all. I wasn't really the type to do it, but now there's so many, like, there's so much I've learned from
Right.
this program.
So as a future leader, have you taken the time to write down your goals and dreams?
I've done it in school a lot,
Right.
but it hasn't really been like what I want. Like, I don't really know what I want,
Right,
but
right.
it's like I've said my goals like at school and stuff.
So James, there's a couple locations. What is the difference between the different locations?
So there's 4 locations. I work the flagship located on 15th and Christian. Most of our population is either African American or Asian American. There's Futuro, which is on 9th Street in the Italian Market area, and that primarily serves Mexican American community.
Right.
There's our West Philly location, which is a mix too in terms of race, and then our North Philadelphia site right off Temple campus at 18th and Diamond. I'm sorry, our West Philly location is at 39th and Lancaster.
Right, right.
And our North Philadelphia site's at 18th and Diamond. That serves the North Philadelphia population, which is, I think, predominantly African American for the most part.
So you've been in the program for 5 years, you said. In that 5-year time frame, what has the impact been that you've seen?
Wow, I mean, that's a great question. For me, it's about getting young people to manufacture and manifest goals post-high school.
Right, right.
High school's, man, being a teen is tough. I remember being a teen. I dropped out of high school, and I'm a proud high school dropout.
Right.
I'm a proud Temple University graduate, too.
Right.
And I know what it's like to be stressful to be a teen.
Right.
And, you know, to see them navigate what they have to navigate living in the city is challenging. And I don't think we take enough time as adults to take a step back and see what the things they have to go through. And, you know, being able to be in a position to support them, because, you know, I try not to go into this line of work with, I'm the helper,
Right, right.
quote unquote, or I'm the savior. It's more so I'm a support and I'm a resource. Once we change the language, we change the understanding to better serve the young people that we want to support.
Right.
So, you know, for me, the impact is seeing the students I've had the opportunities to work with go to college and still have connections with them and see, you know, how successful they are now.
So similar to a lot of organizations like in the fire service, 70% of the fire service in Pennsylvania are volunteers. The Red Cross uses a lot of volunteers. I believe your organization utilizes volunteers also.
Absolutely.
So without those volunteers, what would some of the struggles be?
So we have programming that are rooted in volunteership.
Right.
What I mean by that is that we have mentorships, we have workshops that are all volunteer run and facilitated. We wouldn't be able to have those things if we didn't have a volunteer body.
Right.
And the volunteer body is a very crucial component of running our brand as a model for success.
So if someone wanted to volunteer, how would they go about volunteering?
You can go on the website, mightywriters.org. Depending on what part of the city that you're in, there's a digital Rolodex on the side. Click whatever location, fill out an email, essentially. It's like an email form. We'll get it sent to us, whatever location, you know, the person is interested in. We'll set up an interview, bring them in, see what they're about.
So before we close for this segment, what type of people have volunteered so far? I know you say you have volunteers already.
Oh man, we have
what
a
type of
mixed
people have
bag. We
volunteered?
like, the age ranges from, you know, postgraduates all the way to retirees.
Right.
And it's, I mean, we have all walks of life come through. As long as they have a passion for writing, that's what matters. And also, you know, helping develop the next generation. But I
The
could,
next generation of leaders, right?
absolutely,
Right.
yeah.
When we come back, we're going to hear from guests who can tell us what Mighty Writers is like strictly from the student side. We have 2 young people from Mighty Writers location in South Philadelphia. Stay with us.
to St. Clair, the patron saint of television.
Oh, wondrous St. Clair, I ask that you bless my television with good reception and good color balance.
I also ask for your assistance in choosing quality programs that provide me with endless hours of enlightening entertainment.
Amen.
Your prayers have been answered. You're watching LaSalle TV.
You know you watch.
3, 2, 1, action. You may think a guy would be producing this, but I can too. Anyone can find a cure.
Women are being downgraded for their physical ability, but you can be just as strong.
%20 of women are engineers, but it doesn't stop there.
I'm a tech girl. I'm a tech girl.
I am a tech girl.
I am a tech girl.
Welcome back to Future Leaders in Philadelphia. I'm your host, Derrick Sawyer. Today, we're highlighting the members of Mighty Writers. Right now, we have 2 students who are active members of Mighty Writers in South Philadelphia. Please welcome Will Tyler and Razmia Abraham. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
So, tell us how you became involved with Mighty Writers.
Would you like to go first?
I became involved by my friend who had heard from someone that was already in Mighty Writers.
Yes.
And she was like nervous about being there by herself because she didn't know anybody. So she was like, oh, come with me. So it was like her second week there, and she was like, all right, we're going on Wednesday, blah, blah. And I was like, all right, cool. I was kind of nervous too because I was like, all right, I didn't know much about it. So then I went, and you know, it was cool. I liked the vibe, I liked the environment. It was very chill, yeah.
Kind of grew on you.
Mm-hmm.
So, Will, what about you?
So the way I got introduced to Mighty Writers was from my friend Erica. I wasn't going through the best of times, and she felt as though Mighty Writers had a good, strong community that would help uplift me in my schoolwork. So she introduced me to the program, and from the first day, I just loved it.
Great.
We had a current events session, and I feel as though I spoke well, and I was a person of interest to the program leader. So.
Great. So how long have you both been involved in Mighty Writers?
Well, I haven't been involved for about a good 3 years now.
3 years?
Yeah.
Wow.
I haven't really been involved in. I've been involved since what? April, May.
Yeah. Oh,
so
so
I'm new. Yeah.
And you're still enjoying it?
Yeah.
So what's the difference between writing in Mighty Writers and writing in high school? You're both in high school, right?
Yes.
So what would you say the difference is?
I feel like writing in high school is like, they're so quick to like be like, oh, write this, this, and that, and you have to make it like this. You have to like.
There are too many rules.
Yeah, like they want so much expected from you, and it's just like they'll have like a deadline, be like, okay, it's by like 12 o'clock at night. It's just like, okay, well, I have to like stop everything I'm doing today just to do that paper. But like with Mighty Writers, I feel like I'm able to like take my time with it and like say whatever
Less
I want,
pressure.
and yeah, there's less pressure on it.
What about you, Will?
So at my school, I go to Boys Latin. And
I've been there before.
Oh, really?
Boys Latin Charter?
Yes.
Yes.
Right in West Philadelphia?
Yes.
Thank you. But at that school, it's just as she described, it's very pressured and our deadlines come up really fast. And if you're not on top of it, you basically fall under the pressure. But with Mighty Writers, it's more, I wouldn't say free form, but it gives you a better chance to express yourself rather than have a set topic that you have to write about.
So have you been able to use some of those writings from Mighty Writers in your classwork?
Yes, I have. I remember a time where we worked on poetry a little in Mighty Writers, and then for one of my calculus classes, my pre-calculus class, we had to write a poem about SOHCAHTOA, trigonometry, and it helped the poetry class transfer it into the school, and I did a poem which was published on the newsletter. So.
Great. So we'll give you a head start on your homework a little bit. Nice. So there's different workshops and classes. What would be your favorite class and workshop?
Well, my favorite class or workshop was the radio workshop that we did at Mighty Writers. I was a part of it last year, and we produced, each student produced a piece that was close to their heart. And one of my friends, Serenity, she posted about Asperger's autism, and now she's being asked by different people to make a book. And so that program really helped me a lot. It helped me see what I can really do and how what I do affects other people and how they can learn from me.
Great. Your favorite is?
I feel like, if I'm going to be honest here.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't really have a favorite. Like, it's just like every time I go, it's just like I
enjoy it.
I like being there. I like saying what I have to say. I like the conversations, discussions we have is like, it's good. And I like being able to feel comfortable in what I say at Mighty Writers.
So you like it all? Not bad. So how has being a part of Mighty Writers impacted your life?
It's made me more confident in what I say. Like before, I used to like, I didn't like speaking up. I would just be like, all right, whatever, you know. I would hear what everybody was saying. I would say it in my head, but I would never say it out loud.
Right.
So like now, it's just like if I hear something, I'm capable of speaking back. I'm capable of speaking up, and like I feel comfortable like saying like what I have to say.
Great. You?
Well, the deadlines don't seem as much of a threat anymore. So with the writing pieces, I can write fluently, I can write grammatically correct, and I don't have to worry about messing up as much.
Right.
And it just helps me in school because I can get a head start on all of my homework, and I can ask my teachers for help ahead of time, so when I do turn in my final draft, it's the best it can be.
So you talked about confidence. How important is having confidence in what you're saying? How important is that?
I feel like it's important because like what I want to do like in my life, like I feel like what I want to do, it like helps me out, like because you can't just go around anywhere and like be shy. Like you have to be able to say what you say and mean it. Like
Right. Well, I want to thank both of you for coming on the show. Thanks for sharing your experience with Mighty Writers, and we look forward to both of you writing books in the future.
Of course.
All right. Again, we're going to take a short break, but when we return, we're going to hear from two guests who work out of the Mighty Writers Program Center in North Philadelphia. Stay with us.
Can I go to the sleepover?
Lucy, I want you to promise me something. If there's any drinking, I want you to say, no thanks, not my thing.
Mom.
I promise you, your real friends won't care. Deal?
I promise, Mom.
They really do hear you.
Did you pack your toothbrush?
For tips on how to start the talk, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov. A public service message from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration.
You might feel like there's too many problems in the world, or that, you as a 15-year-old, 16-year-old can't really make a difference.
It's not always about you. It's not just one person. It's a group. It's a team.
Just that simple act is transforming someone else's life.
It's one of the best feelings in the world.
It'll just make you feel so good about yourself.
I'd do anything to convince you just to be a part of this.
You are now watching LaSalle TV.
Hello, I'm Derrick Sawyer, and you're watching Future Leaders in Philadelphia. I've been talking with some of the people who work and attend the Mighty Writers Center in South Philadelphia. Now I have the pleasure to sit down with two people who are involved in Mighty Writers program in North Philadelphia. Joining me are Program Director Shamira Cottle and Mighty Writer member Marnisha Cottle. You're related?
No. Shamira O'Neal.
O'Neal,
Yeah.
okay.
I love her though, but not related.
Not yet?
No,
Okay.
not related.
Okay. So tell me about the program and how you got involved in the program.
Sure. So Mighty Writers North is the newest location of the 4. I got involved because I saw the description and the wonderful things that were going on, and it's something that I'm passionate about, expressing myself, help kids express themselves, and so it's something that I wanted to do. And so I looked into being a part of the team.
So you said it's a new location. How long has it been there?
We are in our 2nd year. This is the 2nd fall that we've had.
Right. Marnisha, how long have you been involved in the program?
2 trimesters.
2 trimesters? That's interesting. Not semesters, but trimesters.
She started with us this past summer.
So what do you enjoy about the program?
Everything. The program is like just a way for me to express myself and like a way for me to learn to become a better writer.
Great. So what are some of the challenges that you see when you have new students coming to the program?
I wouldn't say that there are many challenges with new students coming into the program. We're very welcoming, and we're a family at Mighty Writers, and there are many different ways to be involved, and kids want to be involved in different ways, and they find the ways that make them most comfortable. So I think that there are many challenges with kids coming. Everybody's welcome.
So when I say challenges, so everyone that comes into the program isn't a great writer, right?
Right.
So how do you help them evolve from being
where they are into being a better writer?
Correct.
We have lots of different programming that helps kids, one, get their ideas out of their brain onto paper, and then our volunteer base that we talked about earlier, as well as myself and other staff members, just working with them in group settings and individual settings through mentorships. There's a lot of support that we have at Mighty Writers, just like continuing to write and revise and revise and revise until they eventually get better. I think the most important part of that is them having the voice and the things that are in their mind that they want to put on paper, and then us helping them and fostering them to make it look the best that it can look, and honing in on those skills and making those skills better.
So why do you think it's important to write with clarity?
It's so important to write with clarity, because if you can write with clarity, you can speak with clarity, and you can carry that, throughout your life, into your whatever it is that you're doing throughout the day, carrying that into school and the goals that you have. Writing is everywhere we go, and it's in everything that we do. And doing it with clarity, especially our kids at Mighty Writers, helps them stand out from the rest.
Right. Marnisha, writing with clarity, how has it helped you?
Well, it helped me a lot. It helped me better explain myself. So when I write with clarity, other people could see my point of view instead of it being befuddled and everybody just well, what do you mean?
Right, that's very important too. So you're looking forward to going to college?
Yes.
And what college do you plan on attending?
University of Penn.
So when you fill out that application, you can write with clarity and should get into school, right? Great. So your programs, are they geared to specific ages or genders or?
We have lots of different types of programming at all of the locations, including North, and we serve ages 7 to 17. So we have workshops for different age groups, and we have our after-school programming for different age groups. There's programming for everybody from 7 to 17.
About how many students do you have in your program?
At North, we have a pretty packed academy, and we have 18 kids in our after-school academy. We have we serve so many kids through our workshops. Each site has about 50 workshops that they host a year, and workshops can have between 15 and 20 kids in a workshop. So we serve several hundreds of students every year at every single location.
Wow. And what would you say the impact is of the students that you've served so far?
The impact is vast. Their confidence, I think, is one of the biggest things that improves and shines, and their ability to believe in the things that they have in their brain that they don't often get to express.
Right, right.
The ability and the space to talk about things that they don't often get to talk about in schools or at home even. It helps them in all different facets of their lives.
Great. Well, I want to thank both of you for coming on the show, and I look forward to great things from both of you. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have today. I'd like to thank all of my guests from Mighty Writers. If you would like to find out more about the Mighty Writers organization, you can visit their website at mightywriters.org. I'm Derrick Sawyer, and thank you for watching Future Leaders in Philadelphia, where we believe investing in our youth is investing in our future. Thank you for joining us.